What was so great about Carol and her group is that they, other shows that were on, they would read cue cards. And they didn't. They memorized the sketch. So they were really playing the material as opposed to, here's a line like the Bob Hope thing. Bob Hope show would be like, they're doing the set up the joke, the set up the joke, the set up the joke, and they'll read the cue cards. And Burnett, they worked the material, and she played it as a character, and Harvey was a character, and Tim was a character, and Vicky was a character, and they worked it from characters. And so that's what was so great. And sometimes they would find another moment, and they would add a thing here and there, and Tim would certainly do that. But they were very. The way they dealt with the material, they dealt with it, I think, as well as you can do. There wasn't like, well, that's not working. Give me another joke or whatever. They worked that material. And sometimes you do alterations to it. But they didn't take it lightly. They really dealt with the script and the character, and then you can make adjustments. Not that you had a whole long time to make adjustments. You had to do it quickly and on your feet.
What was the process like with the writer's room? Were you assigned sketches, or did you pitch sketches?
No, what would happen is there was, it's funny, like I see all the names nowadays. I think there were only 9 or 10 writers on Burnett. I don't think there's like 32 writers, or I see nowadays like a lot of writers. There were only 9 or 10 of us. And sometimes they would say, look, they'd like to do a piece on this. But more often than not, it was just you came up with an idea, and that's what you did. So you'd come in and you say, "What about this idea?" Blah blah blah. So they might say, "Well, go ahead and do it," or you would just write it and send it in. You can evolve certain things, and a lot of the physical stuff. So that's where we developed, in terms of with Conway, the old man, They come up, and all you have to do is if you hit, what's a good thing for the old man to do? If you hit the right thing, it's immediately it'll be funny. Mm. So if you take the old man and how slow he is, and so you'd say, okay, what about a sketch where Harvey Korman jumps into the cab and he says, to the airport, and make it snappy. And then there's this long pause, and all of a sudden, the old man, Tim Conway as the cab driver, just looks in the rearview mirror and goes, "A passenger," and so you've begun. It's to the airport and make it snappy. And then Tim pulls out the Thomas guide, airport, AI, and Harvey's, pushing them to get on with it. So right away you have an idea that will work. And then the question is, what jokes do you want to stack up based on this old guy and how slow he's going to be? And then and you go from there. They would get the script on Monday. Monday and Tuesday, they started to go over it. Wednesday, there would be like, they'd put it on its feet in front of the writers, the producers, and wardrobe people and whatever, but they were in street clothes, and they would do that on that afternoon. Then we would meet in the office afterwards and go over the sketches and see if they need to fix anything. Thursday they'd start to block it and then start to add the costumes and shoot Friday. And they would do two shows, I think at 5 o'clock and 8 o'clock. And they would do it like from beginning to end. It wasn't like 20 minutes to let's set up for this. They literally just roll it in, roll it out, literally like a live show, except it was being taped. And it was extremely efficient the way it ran. Extremely efficient and incredibly, and obviously with Carol at the top, they really worked the material, and you could see her on Wednesday, she's, it's like she's got a toe in the water. And then somehow when they start to put those costumes on, all of a sudden, like, whoa. I mean, pretty amazing. Sometimes you'd stand and watch the Friday's first show, and you go, wow, from Monday, and here it is on Friday, and all of a sudden, look at her and her crew. They were suddenly like alive and etc. And she would latch onto that character that seemed to come, like the day before, where she sort of got the handle on it. Seemed to be it's when it was somehow when she got into costume, she began to figure out the character more so, and then it would explode. It was very. I don't remember a situation where you go, I don't think she was as good as She was always better than. She was better than whatever was on the page. She always elevated it. And I think she raised that bar for everybody. So Harvey was up there, and Vicky came up there, and Tim was up there. They were like at the top of their game.